Welcome back to another episode of Cashing Out. I'm your host, Billy Alvaro, my co-host, godson, and partner, Wayne Hartard. We are Easy Sell Property Solutions. We buy properties all day, every day for cash right out here in Long Island. Long Island, Staten Island, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. Where are we not buying? I mean, we're buying all over the island, right?
Yeah, we've all over the island.
All over the island.
Now we're expanding to the surrounding markets as well.
Upstate, Westchester, we're going to start expanding out. You can find us online at www.easysell411.com or by phone 631-400-EASY. And don't forget to go on Facebook, find us at EasySell411. Give us a like on the page, and Instagram, same thing, EasySell411. Today, as you know, we always have these special guests that end up popping in. Today we have a special guest and a friend, David LaForte from Equity Settlements Title Services. David, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on board today.
I appreciate you coming on, brother. We are going to be getting into the nitty-gritty about title and, more importantly, how regular home buyers or people who are buying properties with a mortgage, how they actually, well, people that are selling their property, the people who are buying properties with a mortgage, how title comes into play and the issues that could arise, right? So let's just go into title itself. Like, what in the heck is title, and why do buyers need it?
So there's two types of title insurance. There's buyer's title insurance and lender's title insurance, otherwise known as a fee policy. They do the same things, but the lender's policy protects the lender. The buyer's policy protects the buyer. They essentially do the same thing. So, with title insurance, from a lending standpoint, the lender wants to make sure that if there's mortgages on the property, that those are going to get dismissed before our new closing takes place. If there's judgments, liens, bankruptcies, foreclosures, they want to make sure that they have a superior position, a first lien position in anything else. And from the owner's title insurance perspective, if there's ever a claim in years to come, that purchaser is protected up to their purchase price that they had purchased the property for, otherwise known as a title defect. Title insurance is going to make sure that the taxes are paid. If there's mortgages, judgments, liens, bankruptcies, foreclosures, that all of that stuff is dismissed or omitted prior to our closing that's taking place.
Yeah, that was an actually awesome. Like, you almost really know what you're doing. I mean, you sounded
really almost
honestly like you really sound educated on this game.
I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare. Just.
I got to tell you, I'm
no script,
amazed.
nothing in front of him.
This guy knows his business.
Well, that's what he is. He's an expert in title.
Expert in title. I'm so glad I had him on. So this, honestly, that was a great explanation on title. So when buyers are coming in, what's the process like? The buyer orders the title. Like, what does that look like?
So a title request is generated once a contract is fully executed. Fully executed means that the buyer signs. The buyer always signs first, then the seller signs.
Right. Yep,
when the fully executed contract, both parties have signed, once that contract gets back to the buyer's attorney orders title.
So it's the buyer's attorney who orders the title, and then they'll order from a company like yours.
That's correct.
And then from there, what's the process like on your end, on the back end?
So my wife of 2 years, she runs the front end of the operation. These are all her relationships from examiners. An order gets entered into the computer, and an examiner down at the county does research, basically. So they want to research the buyers, they want to research the sellers, and most importantly, the property. What is against the property? What's against the sellers? What's against the buyers? Once all that research comes back from our examiners, our back office support puts together a title search. And the title search is going to show everything that's against the buyers, everything that's against the sellers, and everything that's against the home.
So they take all that research, somebody reads it, they type it up, and they put it into a nice packet, a nice report for the attorneys, both attorneys, the buyers and the sellers, to look at and review.
That's correct.
Right? Okay. So, like with title insurance, do people like us who are buying all cash, do we still have to go and get title insurance?
It's to your benefit to get title insurance.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of funky things going on in the New York real estate market, and a lot of purchasers. I mean, we also have an integrated real estate law firm, and sometimes when we're representing purchasers go, well, I've done my research, and owner's title insurance is optional. And it's the wrong thing to do, because if something comes back, that onus is on the buyer.
Always want to be protected. Yeah.
You always want to be protected.
So it's smart. It's an insurance policy that really is going to, whether you need it or not, it's there. It's going to protect the buyer's interest.
And that's correct.
And we've had to actually go and make claims with you in the past, small ones.
Yes.
Because stuff has popped up that we didn't realize. And thank God we had the insurance through your company, because then we were able to handle it. You guys then put in a claim with your underwriter, and the underwriter then actually covers it.
Yep, we made everybody whole.
Yeah.
So
it's important. Buyers, if you're out there and you're looking to buy a property, whether you're a cash investor like us or you're going through and getting a mortgage from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or FHA, your attorney, you're not, as the buyer, going to have to really worry about this. It's your attorney who's going to protect you and ensure that you order title through a reputable company. Now, one of the things that some people do as cash buyers, like we do this, and some people, even when they're buying with a mortgage, they may, before they actually go in the contract and buy the property, they may do like a preliminary title report.
That's correct.
Right? Some sort of a search just to see what issues are out there. What's the benefits of doing that?
You kind of see what you're getting yourself into. I deal with your back office on, I like to say, most of, if not all of your files, but your back office will order a property profile, which is basically an uninsured search. So we're going to find out if there's mortgages against the property. We're going to find out who's entitled to the property, if there's any judgments, if there's any liens, and that's a preliminary report. It's an uninsured. It's an uninsured piece.
Right, but it does give the buyers like us some insights as to really what's going on with that property.
Yes.
And so so we know then if we're getting involved with something, what the issues are prior to actually executing the contract. So then we can go back to the sellers and say, hey, listen, we found these 8 or 9 or 10 issues that we're going to have to address. We just want to bring it to your attention because we know that if we buy these property, they're going to have to be addressed somehow, some way.
That's correct.
And if it was a buyer that was buying this property with a mortgage through Fannie or Freddie or FHA, generally a lot of these title defects, because the buyer doesn't want to deal with it, the seller doesn't want to deal with it, it generally blows up and the deal gets lost. Fair statement?
Yes.
It happens a lot more than not.
Yes.
So this is important, right? So if you're out there and you're looking to sell your property and you have a house maybe that you inherited, you have a house that you know may have title defects. Maybe you have no C of Os for the upstairs extension. You have no C of Os, or you have violations on the property, because this all comes up in title. They're uninsurable, these things that you bring up in title, like the C of Os and the violations. But you do, when you do your research, you actually do bring that up in the title report.
Yes, on a full title report, we pull municipals, which is a housing and building violation search, a certificate of occupancy, sewer and street. Yep. So your housing and building violation search is, it could be a bargaining piece, when you're going back to your sellers. But
that building report, even though you're putting it in the title, it's actually not insurable.
It's
right?
not insurable.
Okay, so explain what that means for the listeners.
So a non-insurable piece is just for informational purposes. So the attorney that's representing you guys on your buy is going to bring this to your attention. They're going to say, all right, Billy and Wayne, 123 Smith Street has a violation for an illegal rental. There is a what's the a nuisance lien.
Yeah, okay. Nuisance liens on the property.
There's a violation for a board up. The property isn't being maintained properly.
There's cars and junk all over the front lawn. There's violations for an upstairs that didn't have a permit.
No COs.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And no COs are a very big thing in this market area. So you go back to like a conventional buyer. That buyer that's taking out a mortgage might not be able to purchase that property because there's no CO for a second-story dormer.
Yeah.
They converted the garage to an apartment. There's a bathroom in there. There's a kitchen in there. You can't do that stuff.
Right. And that's where we come in as cash buyers, right? So as a cash buying company, whether we're using our own cash or the line of credit that we've procured over the years with these lenders, we're able to go in and negotiate with the sellers of the property and actually give them a very fair price for their house. And we want to know about the issues because obviously we're going to have to address them, but we're not going to back out of the contract if they do have violations, if they do have open C of Os, if they do have permits that have never been closed out, because as cash buyers, we're going to go in and we're going to handle that in the back
we'll
end. That's
take
where
care of
Wayne comes in on the back end. He'll handle it with the municipalities. He'll go in and clear up the violations, clear up the judgments, clear up the fact that the C of Os weren't closed out. But regular buyers who are coming in, if you have a seller that wants to sell their property and the house was inherited, or it's a divorce situation, or they're in foreclosure, they're back on taxes, they're actually taking a risk by selling to somebody who has to get a mortgage because of all of these title issues that do pop up.
Correct.
Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement.
It's a fair statement. I know, and it happens more often than not. We've made offers on properties. We only have a little bit left until we have to take a commercial break, but we've made offers on properties in the past where they've denied us, and then they come back 6 months later after they couldn't get the property closed because the person getting a mortgage couldn't get qualified.
Yep.
All right, listen, this has been a good first half. We're going to come back right after these messages. I'm Billy Alvaro. This is Wayne Harto. We are here today with Dave LaForte from Equity Settlements. If you want to touch Dave, you can reach him at 631-786-8393. The guy's a wizard when it comes down to
8391.
8391. Holy cow. What the hell's going on here? We'll be right back after these messages.